Exactly what's going to happen here. Bastet and Poseidon didn't combine very well that game. Will they go for something different, or will it be similar? Will Titan go for the same comp again? Do you expect that?
I mean, if they go for the same comp again, that's fine. This time, it's not like they lost in 22 minutes and then, rolling in and losing 20.
Well, Myrmidons drafted Rama first pick last time around. Do you reckon they'll do the same thing
I don't think so. I mean, the ROM it's not worth the first pick. I understand they were trying to take it away, but like we saw, you left up Neath, which is truly the sub, if I want to sub in a Hunter, I am giving him Neath almost every time if he is not comfortable.
Agreed. And to be fair, if you're going to be that sub and you're going to be Neath against a Rama, you're going to be happy because Neath in laning phase has a much easier time against a Rama than most of the other ones because there's not a lot Rama can do. Attack speed slow on the Unravel, clear the wave almost in one shot with one backflip almost, backflip Spirit Arrow, clear the wave. Rama got to rely on the auto attack, so it's a very safe lane.
Bans coming through here. Isis going to be taken away from PrettyPriMe. They did not like that aggression.
They didn't, but what happened last time around is they banned some Wukong. So if Titan go for their same ban again here, then Myrmidons will have to pick that one for themselves. Otherwise, give it over to Titan. Ares going to be banned away by Titan. They don't want to have to deal with Dardez on that. They were quite happy with his backers play that game, so they don't mind him going it again, I guess.
I like it. I just shut down one of his primary god, or honestly his best god that we've seen in the Pro League. Take it away from him, giving Bird a little bit more room to move around, and this is a first pick I like. Did not like the ROM first pick, do like the Janus first pick.
Janus first pick locked in for the Myrmidons, give it over to Tynz. He'll be a lot safer on that in the mid lane now. But to be fair, if they had the same composition as last time, Repi and the Thor Isis obviously can't get Isis this game, but I think it would have been the same story there if they kept pecking the Janus over and over.
That's true. Wukong was left up though. That's going to be going to Ataraxia. Could also go to KanyeLife. Thor locked in. There's no reason not to go with that. I mean, Repikas had just such a strong showing, really abusing Tynz in that mid lane.
I think we'll see Rama here picked up more than likely for Myrmidons once again. And potentially, if they don't pick it Titan, then we'll see the Neath ban by them away from Bird. But Myrmidons definitely have to change something this time round. Jungler is available at the moment. Where will they look to?
I really don't want to see the Bastet. I mean, it just seemed to not work for Fails. He went to Transcendence when his team was already behind, and it didn't work out too well. Hercules going to be drafted. LeMoGow most likely to pick that one up. Bellona as well. Okay. I expect that to be jungle.
Yeah, a much more tankier front line I can see out of the boys. They went for double mage last time and an assassin in the jungle.
What if the Hercules is support?
It could be support Hercules.
And does Dardez play that? Do you know?
Dardez plays everything.
I would have to imagine that a very aggressive support has played some Hercules.
He could potentially do that, but it's whether they could do it or not. I mean, Agni, though, locked in for Prime in the mid lane. I'm surprised by that pick because Neath is probably going to get banned here, is what I expect from Myrmidons. Ban the Neath away.
I would like to see them ban the Neath away and really force them in an awkward fight.
Actually, no, because it's not going to work, because if they ban Neath, then Titan's going to pick Rama away from Jermain, I guess. Which is what
I mean, Jermain has multiple gods, but I guess that has been his most picked next to Medusa. He still has his Medusa, which is very strong team fight god. And to be fair, when you have Bellona and Janus, it could work out, giving you a little bit more control and frontline presence.
He's played one Freya game this season, one Xbalanque game this season, one Anher game this season, one Medusa game this season.
Jermain can play everything.
And one Alquan game.
I forgot about
that one. But it's going to be Xbalanque actually picked up by Titan here.
So, we thought Bird would be really on these safe picks, but he's going for a little bit more late game.
Cupid boys, let's go.
The Cupid versus Xbalanque matchup.
Cupid versus Xbalanque.
It's actually very strong. We don't really see it too often.
It's pretty good. Against his comp as well, it keeps on locked in place. Don't forget, it's a cripple.
A lot of cripples, yep.
Geb picked up for Dardez, a more defensive god. Not seen too much of that out of him this season. Mainly Bacchus and Ares have been his go-tos. It's going to be Apollo for Jermain.
Dardez playing a pure role this time. They have a lot of front line, though, with Hercules and Bellona and Janus. Well, it's important to peel for him. He has a lot of self-peel. Same with Apollo. So, you have these three front-liners, but also the two carries on your team, and Janus and Apollo, can protect themselves very well.
Completely. I mean, they've both got multiple ways of getting out of trouble. Threshold, portals for Janus, as well as the through space and time. Then at the same time, Apollo across the way with the Mez. It's going to be Ymir locked in. More than likely, that's going to go to Kanye in that duo lane, which means we should be seeing that Sun Wukong in the solo for Ataraxia up against Hercules, which, to be fair, is going to be a boring lane to watch.
It's going to be a lot of people pressing 1. That's it. 1 and 2. They both use their 1 and 2 to clear waves, and then they auto attack.
You realize that most of the abilities are on 1 and 2, right?
Listen,
half the abilities are on 1 and 2 at least. Yeah.
Fenrir jumps with 1, and he has brutalized, so he clears 1 and 3. Bellona clears with 2 and 3. Thank you very much.
I was saying 50% of the buttons are 1 and 2. Correct?
I mean, you're not wrong.
I rest my case. Case dismissed.
Is this just like free FP week? I was It was free FP week because someone got it right out of the 50.
It was free FP week until LC drew that game. That's what it was. Okay.
Ooh, look at this red pot picked up from Bird. He's an analyst.
And Kanye.
And Kanye. Okay,
I
so
think
they are looking to kill.
I'm excited.
They're like, no, we're the Bruise Brothers now. This is our title.
Look at me.
Look at me.
Look at us. We are the Bruise Brothers now. Yeah, we'll see if it works. I'm not sure if it will. Because maybe they invade.
I would imagine so. I mean, actually, Xbalanque has a pretty... It's not like a root, but it's a slow and also a significant amount of damage on poison. I would not be surprised if they did.
No, they're not
likely
gonna,
to shut down Dardez.
They're too late if they're going to invade. I mean, they've already got the red buff right now at 10 seconds left of minion spawn. It's going to be unlikely they'll get there in time. So... what's the plan here? Is this a really, really fast clear against Geb?
It's going to be
Apollo?
really fast clear, but I feel like they would have been already okay on clear. I mean, Ymir's just better than Geb.
They gave the red
on.
buff to Kanye as well here. They didn't even give it to Prime.
Oh, they are looking to fight.
Handboys on Dardez, is that the plan?
I almost feel
Surprise?
like it's just like... Now, Dardez is going to be, like, this dual lane, Myrmidons, they're going to be able to recognize it very quickly that, okay, both have potions, and KanyeLife has the red pot.
Well, they'll
but
know
it's something
now.
that they don't ever see, right?
They'll-
So they may not immediately recognize that. And look at this, already running up to, got level 2. I think, no, they're just going to back off.
Zone all day, every day. Well, these power pots at the moment, are they just going for Dardez? Yeah, that's what they're after. They're after the Geb early. Put him down.
Myrmidons are recognizing it and responding just how they need to, though, for now. But this could be a trouble.
Great blink from Dardez. We've got a good response there. And the funny thing is that if they don't find too much out of this, they've wasted 900 gold in this lane.
And also the red buff on an Agni.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Agni doesn't really need it at the start of the game. His wave clear's good
Not
enough.
to clear, but, you know, you always want to, you know, kill people. It's always
It's
important.
a very interesting lane now because it's sat here like, how are they going to handle it? Dardez is playing very, very far back. As you can see, that's what Kanye wants to do, is find that Geb early on, but it's not worked out for him. Can we just check in with Geb for a second, just see if he's got that shield available? Let's see if Geb's got shield yet. Yeah, look how he's taking shield at level 2 because he's like, no, 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 we are not playing that game.
And look at Jermain, already under half. I mean, he got poked out. I believe he got hit by a freeze and a glacial strike there. Just so much damage. If Titan... It's just like, this is so risky for Myrmidons because if they just get a little bit out of position, one of these players is dying.
And that's a whole plan now from Tynz to freeze. I expect to see a rotation very, very soon, actually, out of LeFaeles to come over here and try and relieve some of this pressure. And like, okay, boys, you've had your fun. Your power pod didn't... Oh, wait, that worked. I was about to say, they did manage to find the wall there and a little bit more poke once again onto Jermain. But LeFaeles needs to come over here and relieve the pressure and be like, you know what? It's not worked out, boys. You're losing 900
I'm
gold.
not going to lie. I feel like if he comes over here to try and relieve the pressure, he could die.
Just to the
The damage coming from this Xbalanque dual lane, paired with the Ymir, is way too much for him to deal with. If he walks into that lane and we see KanyeLife recognizing it, I don't think they win a 2v3.
Well, they're trying to make it work for themselves, but if you look at the gold difference right now, it's not that much between the two hunters.
It's the XP, right? But Myrmidons right now are playing this perfectly. What I really would have liked to see would be a blink or a creeping curse early from KanyeLife if they really wanted to try and find
can't do
a
that
kill.
as well as power pot, as well as having Watcher's gift. I guess that's the issue. Through space and time gets fired off though from mid lane from Myrmidons, and it's the re-aggression coming out. Jermain putting the pressure on with LeFaeles in tow. They don't find a kill, but meanwhile though, solo lane, we get first blood onto LeMoGow as it looks like Repikas was the one over there with the dunk down to help secure it.
I'm assuming Ataraxia just had him poked down a little bit too low, and it was just a quick rotation. No ward vision coming out on the right-hand side of the map. Most of the wards early on have already fallen off, so no surprise to see that. LeMoGow should be fine, though. He actually picks up a B. It's not something you see too often, but here comes the damage onto Jermain. KanyeLife finding a double freeze, and there's nowhere for Dardez to go. Actually, he does get the rollout bird, though. Hits the last auto to find that kill.
Big for Bird as well, because he will get that passive stack. It's one of the things that we don't really talk about too much, but can be useful early on. And it's not going to be as useful for the power pot, though. The power pot didn't get as much because First Blood went down elsewhere.
If they had the First Blood, it would have been completely worth, but instead, they actually, this
I
dual lane
disagree.
in total spent 900 gold on those power pots for one kill.
But they do get the First Blood on Titan anyway.
Yes.
So by the pressure on this lane, it forced Myrmidons to come over to this lane, which allowed Repikas to get First Blood on a solo lane. So it's not so bad, I guess.
It's not too bad.
Maybe it adds up. Well, they're going to try and pin off Jermain once more. Good poison damage once again. That power pot should be running out relatively soon on these two boys in the duo lane. And poor Jermain and Dardez are like, well, we got called Bruise Brothers and we're getting bruised.
You know next week Myrmidons are going to come out with the same lane, right?
And just do it themselves.
Just do
power
it.
pot
Like,
everything.
they're like, power pot. All right, I can get behind that. do more damage early on.
Power Pot and Girdle. Let's just see them both go that. That'd be great fun to see. Meanwhile, though, Titan will return to the jungle. Kanye and Omgimabird having a good lane so far. And it's good to see.
Repikas level 7. His XP per minute's very high right now. Not something you see too often coming up from junglers who a lot of times are rotating more than farming and really just looking to pick players off or force engages. But Repikas doing a great job so far.
Yeah, it's worked out okay for Titan. I mean, they picked up the first blood. Well, he did get first blood as well, so he got some
That's
gold
true.
there. On top of the fact there's a big rotation from Myrmidons to the left, so he's had pretty much free farm for the most part as we check him with the rest of the game now. Speed buff picked up for LeFaeles here. He's going to rotate over to red buff now to help out Tynz dropping this one. And Tynz, well, at least he's not died twice already yet.
That's true. Because in a couple more minutes, he would have died about 5 times.
It's pretty close to
back
that.
in game
Yeah.
1. And I mean, that's the thing, right? He was on Poseidon, a god that if he gets caught, he's almost always dead. And this time they put him on a god like Janus, who has a lot of self-peel. And also, they put 3 frontliners on their team. They've got LeFaeles in the jungle at Bellona. They've got LeMoGow in the soul lane on that Herc. And they also have a Geb on Dardez, which doesn't happen too often.
No, I mean, I've not seen him on a defensive god like that. And I think that's what Titan tried to do here in that duo lane was use the fact that Dardez has got something more safe. I mean, it's a very, very tanky front line, like you said, but they've still found 2 kills, Titan, which is important to get him going early.
Rotation coming out from KanyeLife. He doesn't have Blink, though, so not going to surprise anyone too fast, but a lot of pressure put out by Titan here. They've already gained just under a 2k gold lead across the map with their 2 kills.
With the 2 kills, Kanye coming back to the left-hand side again. Jermain will be well aware of it now as the pings come down from Myrmidons. Will be tuning with LeMoGow over in this solo lane.
This is just a slap fight. I mean, the only thing we saw was the one gank coming out from Repikas early on. Outside of that, I mean, these 2 players are just going to do exactly what we see them doing now.
Well,
They're just going to
didn't see it in the solo lane because #BlameMyrmidons. Your camera work is awful.
I'm not even doing camera work.
#BlameMyrmidons.
This is ridiculous.
Left-hand side. Once again, Jermain does get out of danger, and it's just continued pressure onto him over and over again. They're just trying to shut down this duo lane, and I think Titan seem to have the same feeling I do about Myrmidons, that it all comes down to the duo lane, and LeMoGow is the linchpins of this Myrmidons team.
I really don't like what they've done here. They've invested too much. If they can find this kill, maybe it's a little bit different, but they're not going to be able to do it. I mean, the Mez was good, the shield was good, and Dardez showing that he's not just about aggression, he can play some defensive supports too. I mean, you kind of have to be able to play Geb if you're a support player. You just have to.
Yeah, to an extent, unless you speak to
His kid is just so good. I mean,
Raph is support, okay. Ataraxia did have a bit of a disconnection issue here by the looks of it as well, as we see on the screen. He's back in base at the moment. Not seen a pause come out.
probably going to see a pause here.
Must be soon.
Very shortly. Yeah, there it is, coming out from Kanye.
I thought they were going to be really brave then for a second and be like, no, let's just...
We could 4v5 them. Let's prove it.
It'd be too much. Be too much to do. So pause comes out. Myrmidons down 2 kills again. Bit slower than last game though, but Titan just dominated that last one, and it looks so far in this one that there's no real response from Myrmidons here. LeFaeles and Tynz haven't really done anything in this mid lane to try and make something happen. And now I'm looking at those two, it's because the other lanes have had deaths, you know?
I mean, LeFaeles on this Bellona. Bellona's just not a very good ganker. Not that she can't do a lot in team fights, but she doesn't have any like on-demand stun. All she has is one slow, which is now scaling, right? It's not super strong, as well as her ult, but that's her ult to initiate. And while you will stun someone, there's not a lot of instant follow-up like a Poseidon Kraken like we saw in game 1, right? It's a lot of Janus doing damage in and out of fights, weaving in and out, and that's what it prioritizes him.
Sprint being picked up here by Kanye. Is this going to be more than likely, I'm guessing, you know, well, obviously Heavenly Agility.
No, it's going to be an Achilles Spear. Yeah, you just see him swing. What if he like bought an Achilles Spear at the beginning too? Like he had no items, just purple pot, Achilles Spear, Blink.
In my head, I'm like, it sounds awesome. Oh, stealing away LeMoGow with the boulder. Uses the ping pong to pick that one up. But the problem is with that boulder being down now, Repi's on his way.
Beads is done. By LeMoGow, just going to be trying to dash out of here. And it looks like Titan, they want to keep this aggression up. Ataraxia going to land down. And LeMoGow, he is actually living for quite some time. So LeFaeles rotates in and locks Ataraxia under tower. Great pull by LeMoGow. Good turnaround pick for Myrmidons.
Good turnaround pick. LeFaeles did a good rotation left-hand side, though. They're looking for aggression. Titan here. Good wall onto Dardez, who's stuck out of position here. Cataclysm well-timed, followed by a knock-up to get himself out of danger. Bombs rain down on him. They're still chasing after him as well, as he's locked in a bad position. Rollout is good. And Jermain does manage to get... Did Jermain get out? Jermain did get out as well as Tynz finds that snipe.
Great snipe from him and Tynz, keeping up the aggression, going to drop PrettyPriMe. And Dardez with the blink finds the damage. It's not enough for PrettyPriMe as he does beats out Jermain. You're not Zap.
He is.
He was about to. He didn't even have enough mana to make it.
Le Zapman.
Le Zapman.
Meanwhile, in the jungle, though, they're trying to do the speed buff. He fails at the moment, but Titan want to return the favor of all the damage that's been done to him. 2 deaths across the map for them. Speed buff has reset. LeMoGow saying no, it's ours. As Dardez is rotating in as well. Titan retreat.
Tynz, he's here as well. He could portal in if he really wants to. It might be a little bit dangerous. He's going to do it anyway. Gets stunned out. Unstable Vortex. Repikas has no mana, but with his boots online, I don't think Tynz is going to be catching him anytime soon.
Really good response from Myrmidons, though. That's exactly
across the map, multiple lanes.
Let's look right back at the beginning of the game. First Blood, solo lane. This time he survives, turns the kill around. Second Blood, duo lane. This time they respond again, turn the kill around. Why was that? Because LeFaeles and Tynz both responded. And that's what I was looking at.
Different lanes as well.
To different lanes, which was very important. LeFaeles came into the solo lane, defended their. Tynz responded to the left-hand lane, picked up the kill there. And that's, for me, is where the important thing is. When you're down, you have to rely on the other people to help support you. And that worked out well for Myrmidons and brings them back into this game.
And all shout-outs to Jermain there for that fight as well. I don't know if you noticed it, but he was actually like sitting very defensive, actually very aggressively back. He was actually in the middle of 3 players, but he recognized that Titan, their call was to lock down Dardez. And what he did was he got a lot of free damage off of KanyeLife, even though he was in a risky spot.
Lane, big freeze, his beads, his force on fails. Meanwhile, Tynz went to a portal through the wall, gets away from Repikas for a moment, but can he get away again through space and time is available? He's trying to save it, and well used by... No, not well used by Tynz. He got hit by a huge Repikas double tap that was a maxed hammer again.
I mean,
it had to be a maxed hammer.
Oh, that's a maxed hammer. I mean, to be fair, his Berserker's Barrage is probably 3 or rank 4 or 5 by now as well.
My favorite time of casting is the ones where you don't expect to kill. You're like, what just happened?
I know, and a lot of aggression though. LeMoGow forcing out PrettyPrime's beads here, and Myrmidons trying to defend their tower. No pluck available for LeMoGow. He already used it, and Titan just going to force him back. But yeah, that double tap. Tynz he tried to save through space and time. He wanted to keep it up. He thought he was out of danger.
The call looked good, right? The call looked good, but now maybe Dardez in mid lane needs to be careful here. He's going to get frosted, followed by a stun and walled into a corner as well. I go boom, says Kanye, and roll out, says Dardez. And meanwhile, LeFaeles dived into 3 to try and dissuade any more pressure. He lives.
Dardez,
just barely.
That is like the 3rd time that he has barely lived. That actually is the 3rd time where he has been forced to under 5% in life and still managed to get out. Unfortunately, Titan just not finding the damage to lock him down. They're full committing. It's not like there's someone standing there trying to zone. I mean, everyone is going on Dardez, but he's just a little bit too tanky for them to handle right now.
I think the only thing they could have done slightly differently there was maybe hold the wall a little bit longer from Repi because they have the storm coming in from Agni. They would have held it a little bit longer. I think they would have definitely secured him because he couldn't have rolled out because the wall would have blocked. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I'll blame Repi too. It's Repi's fault.
It is Repi's fault.
God, come on, Repi. You're better than this.
Useless.
Dardez getting a regular ward pretty deep, but Sentry, you don't really see a Sentry there too often coming out, but Bird making sure he cannot get ganked. That's what I'm assuming that Sentry's there for.
Can we check him with golden experience here? I just want to see the difference between the two. Take off 900 gold for me from that gold difference.
They spilled into the red pod and they got a little bit off of it based on pressure, and they got Bird out of the early, but maybe that's the thing for them, right? Maybe it was just getting Bird out of the early phase. Left-hand side, Jermain gonna actually get stunned out here. Dardez trying to play defender here. Gonna get double walled into the corner.
Is in a lot of trouble there in that corner, but the rotation comes in from Tynz and LeFaeles is here too, but jumps to the hammer, does Repikas, and the disengage
Dardez is staying out of combat, I think, or trying to.
It's really smart. Really, really smart and well played from them as well. Just to defend against that all-in. Titan's still trying to force something here. You can see the LeMoGow's rotated to mid just in case Ataraxia coming down mid lane too, but I think this fight's going to be a wash now as Myrmidons survive a 4-man gank.
LeFaeles waiting in the jungle. Dardez has ultimate available, finds 3, and it looks like they're going to turn that around. Jermain finds 2. PrettyPrime takes out Dardez in response, but Jermain.
Double kill for Jermain. He might be looking for Kanye as well now. Where will the kill credit go? It'll go to Tynz as well. As Myrmidons turn it on his head, they didn't think Dardez had ultimate, and they dived him. Well, they didn't dive him, they just focused him and immediately cataclysm, and now Gold Fury to Myrmidons. We've got a ball game, boys and girls.
PrettyPrime going to try and defend, but fails. He's not going to let him get anywhere close to there. He does have 1 bomb available. Gold Fury already under half, but fails, forcing PrettyPrime out. PrettyPrime actually probably could kill fails if he can find the stuns. Find 1 bomb, but not the second. LeMoGow teleports in and actually catches Ataraxia, who is trying to figure out what's going on. Ataraxia already under half, and he's going to be forced out as well. Myrmidons playing a very good game right now, currently holding the gold lead by about 1,000.
So much better than the first game as well. This 3-man warrior, 3 frontline composition has worked out well for them, and they've got to continue to do this. I mean, it's looking strong right now. They can take this game to Titan, because whenever Titan's got aggressive, Myrmidons have had an answer every time.
And right now, LeMoGow just playing up. And there's nothing they can do about it. We saw multiple times, we've talked about a Titan full committing to players, especially Dardez, right? So they actually were able to finally kill Dardez in that last engagement, but he took 3 with him with a great Cataclysm and the rest of his team following up. Titan just don't have the damage to burst these frontline players right now. And you see a lot of Jermain just getting out. Same with Tynz. There are these mobile gods that have a lot of defense and tools in their kit to get away from dives.
And at the moment, you can see experiencing gold just in favor of the Myrmidons as well at 14 minutes in. Probably small in experience, but maybe we'll see Kanye make a play of Jermain again here. Freeze. Instant shield from Dardez, always in position when you need him right now. Now he's going to turn the aggression on. Bruce Brothers, like, let's go.
They're going to go on to KanyeLife, and he's going to be slowed. He actually walls himself because of the slow. Jermain trying to find the auto attacks, but he's going to back off there. Nice play, though, and Jermain completely baited that. He knew Kanye was around the corner. He knew Dardez was there, but Ataraxia, he's going to follow up.
They're trying to force the issue again on the duo lane, and Dardez and Jermain get out of dodge. LeFaeles in the jungle is there if they need him to be. They'll drop the purple buff down, but once again, Myrmidons turn it.
I mean, Titan, they're investing so much in trying to lock down Dardez, but it's almost been working in Myrmidons' favor that they've invested that much into it. We saw the double potions. They didn't really get a big thing. They got 1 kill, but it wasn't first blood. And then they've invested multiple times trying to kill Dardez and get turned on because of it.
Good bomb onto Tynz there. And the portal was used by Dardez. I don't think he really wanted to use that one. Honestly, Tynz really needed it, but he'll get out of danger. Dardez in a lot of trouble here. The shield is down. You can't roll out this time, Sunshine. But he still lives.
Not enough damage coming out from KanyeLife there. And
solid as a rock.
That almost did turn around just because Dardez unfortunately took the portal.
No, it was planned. It was planned more than anything else, I think, there. There was nothing else that was different. He knew what he was going on. As we can actually see, we've had a bit of a change here. Ataraxia's gone to the mid lane to pressure. Repi's been left to fight off against the Hercules. Why
I think
is
they just want to get Repi some levels for now, but
is it Repi levels, or is it like getting Ataraxia involved in the game?
Maybe they feel like Ataraxia right now. I mean, there's also the point of the globals, right? Ataraxia, his teleport is down. He already used it. So instead, send over Repikas so you can just walk into Fire Giant and ult in a mid lane if needed. It's safer XP and safer rotations across the map.
Well, I guess it was because of the teleport all the way to duo, and still Ataraxia didn't get back until just now. And LeMoGow, well, he's going to return to base here with no mana available to him. He's going to have to. And meanwhile, the boys of Titan going to take their blue buff on that right-hand side as well for the time being.
Gab. Coming up here, doesn't want to give it up for free, and a teleport by MoGow. Look at these 2 players super low. This is the plan. Great stun, and Repi and Ataraxia recognize what's happening and get out of there very quickly. Good response from them.
Cost them 2 ultimates, though, and maybe the tower here as well, because they were both low on mana and HP. There's no response now, and Tier 1 tower could get pressed because LeFaeles is here as well.
On the left-hand side, Jermain also just going to be able to left to free farm. Bird going to try and defend, but he has his global.
Got to be very careful there about going in for that one, just in case he did get full CC comboed. Agni's on the way. You can see Tynz trading off with him. Tynz actually having to dodge that bomb with an Aegis there, and Ataraxia runs off as the Tier 1 tower falls on the right-hand side. Left-hand side, Jermain has pushed up to the Tier 1 there as well. He's just not got any minions yet.
And this works for him. I mean, they want to leave Jermain alone to free farm to get these big items online. You can see him working on Executioner here, and Dardez not going to allow Titan to get there or steal away those mid-harpies for free.
Good poke. Again, Cataclysm forced onto Repikas, meaning Beads is forced as well. You can still see Eagle's Rally was used onto Repikas, diving in deep as Jermain is here too. Kanye now the focus of this engagement as well, as they're still looking for it. LeFaeles is in there deep. The portal gets Beads by Kanye, and maybe Titan can turn this, but MoGow in the back finds the Iceman.
And you could really see the split coming out from Titan. MoGow just going to actually rotate around once again. Ataraxia, his ult is still down. They could target him if they can recognize the timer on that. Ataraxia, though, just going to bore out, and that's going to be a Tier 1 tower in favor of Myrmidons. And they're looking at Tier 2 with multiple players already poked out.
Great call from Myrmidons to try and pressure this one again. Jermain, unfortunately,
to
the sky. Repi is up. There is the darkness coming out as well from Bird. Where will the dunk be? It's going to be on Tynz, who doesn't have Aegis, but he does have portals and escapes with his life.
And, you know, Dardez just around the corner would have been able to shield him if need be. And Titan, they're going to use their ult, their 2 ults just to force Myrmidons off. I like the decision-making. Myrmidons, they're going to turn their sights to Gold Fury, though. They need to be careful here.
Why? Because why would they need to be careful? Repi's just used ult. Bird's just used ult.
There's nothing up, actually, outside of Ataraxia.
This is a great call from Myrmidons. They're taking this game.
And MoGow's going to play zoning duty, not allow Ataraxia to get anywhere close to here. And that's going to be a free Gold Fury for Myrmidons. They extend their lead to 4,600 now.
Like from the start of the game, Titan were the aggressors. They found the first 2 kills, but Myrmidons finally started to find the answers in this game. They started to respond to all the aggression Titan had for them.
Like Titan, they found 2 kills in the first couple minutes, and ever since then, they've only gotten 2 kills, and they've lost two big objectives. Actually, it's been 2 Gold Furies, and they've lost
Two
2
towers.
Tier 1 towers.
Yeah, all the 2s.
They got a lot to work back into, and this team composition for Myrmidons has been working well for them. Jermain and Tynz are constantly getting dove, but even just in that last engagement, we saw Repikas lands on Tynz trying to lock him down, but he's Janus. He's got beads up, he's got his portal, and he can peel for himself and allow LeMoGow to just sit on the opponent's back line at the same time without needing to peel for his own carries.
A much better game for Myrmidons here. They need games like this as well. Still in contention to make it to the line if they can get top 6. And the game against Titan here, well, that will put them onto the path. I mean, so far so good in this one if they can just keep it going.
They're 2 games down right now from Dignitas, who have won 6. They've only won 4, trying to find their 5th here against Titan. And Dignitas, they were able to take Titan out 2-0 very cleanly, and it's important for Myrmidons to show that they could still hang with the same competitiveness.
They can stand and bang as well. They've got to be able to do that to keep themselves an opportunity.
Right-hand side, LeMoGow continuing to be aggressive. Ataraxia 2 levels behind, continuously getting bullied, but they're going on Jermain.
Great Mez. Great Mez has to beat in response to Repi, though. Repi's still trying to commit to this good wall, finally. And we will see Jermain fall down on that side. But look at this. LeMoGow going to teleport in. They're going to try and turn the aggression back through space and time fired. Connected with Kanye. The wall was great from Repi, though, but the blink from Dardez is better. Forcing the Cataclysm onto Kanye, but income reinforcements from Titan.
This is a 4v5, and they've committed a lot to Kanye already, forcing out PrettyPriMe is LeMoGow. Great stun finding 2 by Repi. Berserker's Barrage doing a ton of damage to LeFaeles, who's forced out as well. LeMoGow coming around the backside, and this is a 4v5 in favor of Titan.
Titan still going aggressive, though, maybe trying to put some poke pressure onto LeMoGow, but no, the wall connects and followed by another wall too, but he finds the gap, threads the needle through the tiny space left available, and gets out of trouble.
This is a poke war for me. Who's going to poke the other team down first? And so far, I actually think it's going the way of Myrmidons. LeMoGow getting way too aggressive, though. 1 versus 5. Good wall, but Tynz going to hold strong, not too scared, and Titan recognize that they can't keep this up and they back off, especially with Jermain.
Yeah, he's going to have ultimate. Jermain can come straight across this map and turn the fight with a full hunt, and you can see that he had it available if he needed to.
Heartseeker, who's got that? Oh, it's Bird. He's had that for a while then. I just noticed that he picked that up. He's had it for 10 minutes, I believe, is what I'm getting the call
I would
for.
not have expected him to go for that, honestly. I think that was the whole idea behind this was like, let's go for early aggression. Let's find the picks with the power pot and use Heartseeker and get the stacks up. And it's not worked.
It's not worked at all, and honestly, it's kind of a detriment. I feel like, you know, they stopped. The power pots ended, and Titan weren't winning at all. It took him a while to invest into this, and by that point, I feel like Titan should have realized that game plan's not going to work. I need to switch it up, but instead, they full committed to their plan here, and it's not paying off. He has, I don't want to say a useless item, but basically a useless item.
Well, I mean, if you can get the stacks in it, it's useful, but can he keep the stacks is the question. He's died once so far. It's not been too bad, but he's not exactly up on gold over Jermain here either. It's going to be very difficult for them now, but that fight was good signs of life for Titan, though. And now they're starting to pop Myrmidons on the back foot again for a moment.
Can we highlight Bird real quick? I want to take a look at his stats. You're going to be able to see them in the bottom left-hand corner. He's got, his auto attacks are hitting for 186 right there, and he has 1.25 attack speed. Now go to Jermain. He's swinging for 60 more per auto and
1.87.
Yeah, at 1.87. He's just doing so much more damage in these fights.
And that's what it's going to be for the case of it as well, because he can split push and keep the pressure on. Oh, he's going to get walled again. Good Mez onto Kanye, but now he gets walled off again. Jermain is in trouble, but a good shield from Dardez, followed by Cataclysm, gets his teammate out of trouble again. LeMoGow's on his way. No, he's not. They killed the ward.
LeMoGow wanted to be on his way, unfortunately. And now, you know, with 2 ultimates down, Dardez's and Jermain's, we do see Myrmidons not wanting... Actually, no, they're going to continue to be aggressive. I mean, they do have the XP lead and a slight gold lead, but unfortunately, Titan, their positioning is very good right now, and you can even see Jermain trying to steal away back harpies, recognize he can't keep that up. Big through space and time coming up. Repikas takes to the sky.
3 men get hit by that Berserker Barrage is good, but the shield is nice from Jermain as well to dissuade it. Onto Jermain, sorry, and now on the backside as well. You can still see Dardez walking forward, trying to power in. LeMoGow in the jungle, though, trying to zone out Prime. Didn't find the double tap, but found a single.
He's just being left alone. I mean, Titan's just letting LeMoGow just run PrettyPriMe down, and in the meantime, Ataraxia in the middle of 3. He's
got himself a little bit pinned now. They're all clumped up together, and now everybody's in there as well. Eagles Rally goes in too. On the backside, Ataraxia trying to chase down Tynz. Meanwhile, though, LeFaeles does trade out, but picks up Repikas in that trade.
I don't know if that was worth. I almost think like LeFaeles is way more useful in these fights with these ults down. Myrmidons and Titan, too. Like, there's just so many players just diving in one at a time, but Myrmidons continue to be aggressive. Don't hit the pluck. PrettyPriMe able to dash away quickly. LeMoGow, he's just so tanky, they can't deal with him. Nice portal coming out from Tynz, able to stop Kanye's aggression.
LeMoGow's tanked that the whole time. He tanked it the whole time and nobody focused him at all. The tower's still being focused. They're being forced away at Titan right now. The Mystical Mail's still ticking away from LeMoGow as well there. The tower will fall. Myrmidons pick up a tier 2 after a 1-for-1 trade.
Titan just didn't want to fight that, and we did see LeFaeles trade out for Repikas, and I don't know if that was worth, but a lot of these players just diving very deep. Gold Fury, it is up, and we do see Myrmidons about to start that. A quick pause there, and we'll get back into the game in just a moment.
And they're going to go for this third Gold Fury of the game, which if they secure, they're going to continue this lead that they're getting, and really,
it'll be about a
so
7,000 gold lead for Myrmidons, and it's really been a slow game. They've been winning these fights. It hasn't been like, all right, we deicide them, we get 3 towers, and we get a Gold Fury. It's, all right, we win this fight, we find 2 or 3 kills, we lose 1, we steal 1 tower. Another fight. We're up an extra kill. We'll get another tower, and then we'll get a Gold Fury. It's just been one thing at a time for Myrmidons, and over 24 minutes, they've
earlier in the season
nice
for
lead.
Myrmidons as well. We saw this plan of theirs of like let the enemy team go aggressive, and we'll counter initiate every time. It's working for them again this time against Titan. I think this is one of Myrmidons' main strategies, and one of the best things is pick safe lanes, but have the mobility to rotate and outplay the opponents after the initial engagement. If we can survive the initial one, we can re-aggress and turn fights around.
And the key to that is the Janus, and you could see that that's what they were going for. They first picked it, as well as getting a very tanky support for LeMoGow,
a front line
that allows him to just dive in the back line. And they also have these carries. I've said it before, but they can just protect themselves. I mean, Tynz, while it's good to have peel for him, he doesn't need it. Same with Jermain. He's got his beads online early. He has his mez. He has a lot of options to get out of danger.
Well, Heartseeker still only has that 1 stack on it for Bird at the moment. He didn't die in that engagement either, but they didn't manage to find himself anything. Or is it 2? That's 2. I'm lying.
I can't tell.
I think it's 2
that's
or 1.
1. That's close.
It's a number.
He's almost got Executioner online as well, and that's when he's going to be able to really start boxing and doing a significant amount of damage. For now, though, Bird, he's kind of been sitting in the back line. Not much he has been able to do without getting too out of position.
If Titan do win this one, I definitely want to hear about that Heartseeker and what their thought process is behind it as to why it'd be so useful.
I mean, I think we saw their thought process, right? It just didn't work.
The power pot start, get early kills, use the passive as well as Xbalanque's passive as well as the Heartseeker.
And I mean, full credit to Dardez and Jermain for recognizing what was happening very quickly, because I don't think they've ever seen that. I don't think they've ever walked in a lane and saw just that same thing happen.
Love the call from Myrmidons though. LeMoGow zoning duty against Thor. Repi's not even in the area yet, but LeMoGow keeping him so busy that the Myrmidons get a free fight. Look at that boulder, double tap, triple on some. Through space and time fires off. Prime's health is deleted. Jermain probably going to dunk it and find the kill if he can. Ages for a second. Repi dunks on Jermain. Jermain's in trouble. Finds the kill. Tries to use the moves to escape. Great shield from Dardez over the wall. Repi though going to continue the chase, but the finger bangs are so good from Jermain that Repi's nearly dead.
Jermain is so good. Myrmidons as a whole played that fight perfectly.
Holy
and they're going to take out 3, take the tier 2 tower, and focus on the Phoenix. Actually, LeMoGow just going to box Ataraxia here in his own fountain, excuse me.
And meanwhile, Repi's got no health at the moment. He's trying to return back to base now because the Phoenix is down. Rotation to the... Are they going to look to end? That's the question. I think they can. LeMoGow is just so tanky with Deb as well.
Repi actually stayed to finish off the tower instead of immediately backing, and they recognize that. They've already got under half. And look, Repikas actually has to wait a couple seconds before he goes in to heal up. It's already under half by the time he did. This is going to be game. Myrmidons, they're going to take game 2 and trade out with Titan.
They do trade out with Titan. Once again, Titan don't manage to find 2 games in a row. It's been such a long time since they've won it. The last time they did it was against Myrmidons.
Back in like week 2 or something.
2. Yeah,
it's been a while, and Myrmidons, they didn't even have their full roster. They only actually played 1 game the last time they faced off. Game 1 though, full Titan. It was the Titan that we kind of expected to see in the fall split, and then game 2. You know, they had this interesting plan. I mean, they're the ones who are always bringing out these really interesting team comps, right? Like the solo Sylvanas and stuff like that. And we saw this double power pot start in the dual lane. It just didn't work, though.
Well, let's look at First Blood, because we missed this one at the start of the game. It was very action-packed, but First Blood was in the solo lane as we saw action on the duo. Well, this was a solo lane gank on LeMoGow.
And that was just perfect chain CC. That was just perfect execution from Titan, which is really what they're known for.
And it was a good start from Titan again. They went up 2 quick kills. Not as quick as last game round, though, but it went on. It was good from them, just not good enough to find them the win this time.
Myrmidons, though, do extend themselves up to 5 kills, or excuse me, not 5 kills, 5 wins, really closing the gap on Dignitas and making sure that they stay in the running for that 6th place spot for Super Regionals. Tynz, though, player of the game, he played phenomenally. Big rotations coming out from him, 4, 1, and 4. Really, I don't think that slash line really shows how important he was.
I'm happy with him getting MVP because Tynz got focused a lot in that first game against Titan, and a lot of people in chat would have been like, oh my god, this mid lane is so bad. Well, the turnaround to get MVP the game after, that's what you need in this game. You have to have a bit of a backbone when you play this role and take the credit where you can. And Tynz deserves it for this game. As you can see, the aggression that came out from him. But for me, the duo lane, honestly, played fantastically from Myrmidons here.
And we always talk about how the Bruise brothers are so aggressive, and they played a very defensive game early until they were able to really outlive those power pots and the aggression from the Ymir, Xbalanque. And that last fight, we saw it on that last replay. I do want to talk about how important it was. They properly zoned, LeMoGow properly zoned all of Titan. They got Fire Giant, and then what he did, typically we'll see the boulder saved for like, all right, I want to finish them because they're not so worried about it. Instead, 3 or 4 members grouped up. He uses the boulder just to get as much damage as possible. Then we see double global ults as Across the Skies comes through, and as well as Janus ult to get the team. So they had already taken so much damage, they're able to lock down those players that, were already 30% lower than they started off at.
Fantastic work from the boys, honestly. I'm so proud of Myrmidons to actually find that win as well, because a split for them is very, very important. I mean, like we said, Dignitas picked up 2 wins against LC the other day. That would have escalated them. Now it's up to upcoming stars and Myrmidons to try and vibe to beat Dig now for that 6th spot. I mean, at the same time, though, Titans slip in.
Titan is dropped 3 out of 4 games this week so far. They did have a sub, but we even talked about on the Dignitas. Confrey probably wouldn't have made too much of a difference. He was just sitting. He was just sitting in that lane, just farming, and for the most part, he did the same thing. But what I don't necessarily know if I like, they try to execute this really heavy ADC or Hunter getting ahead dependent strategy on their sub.
But it was probably one of those things they practice in training. I know Bird has subbed in with them and plays some of the scrims.
I mean, he subs at any time like someone's out for scrims.
He does the scrims and stuff, and he'll sub in for them then. So he's used to playing with the team on a high level to an extent. But maybe this was a strategy that just didn't work out, or the boys in Myrmidons just knew how to deal with it, I guess.
And they did, right? I mean, Jermain and Dardez very quickly recognized that it was a double power pot start, and you just saw them. They allowed themselves to get zoned because even if they were losing that gold, it was still a 900 gold investment from Titan on that. As soon as those power pots fell off, even though Jermain was down like 200 gold, he was really ahead because it took, Bird that much longer to get into his build. And then he went a Heartseeker that he got no stacks for. So while Heartseeker is incredibly efficient, I believe it's only efficient at like 4 stacks, and he never had more than 1.
It's a great aim if you get it fully stacked and keep it that way, but it's very hard to do. But we should have LeFaeles on the line now from the Myrmidons. He was the jungler for that team, and he's one of the newest additions. LeFaeles, how you doing?
Yeah, it feels really good to finally get that win. We definitely needed that. How are you guys?
Yeah, not too
Doing
bad.
good.
Great performance from you guys overall. I mean, game 1, bit rough. You and Tynz in the mid lane couldn't really do much and kind of got pinned down there.
Yeah, I think Tynz was a little AFK at the start and panic picked that Poseidon in the first game.
Okay, that makes
But
sense.
yeah, the second game we really needed to win, and we went in with a new game, clear mind, without people being annoyed, and tried to keep up the atmosphere in the team.
Was that...
I was one question quickly. If it wasn't going to be Poseidon, then what was it going to be that you were going to plan on picking for that first game? Just out of interest.
It was probably going to be a Rara Afro, a bit of healing,
Okay.
That makes more sense now, because we were trying to work out about the combination of like Poseidon, Bastet together. Didn't really have any secure to kills to an extent, but that makes more sense.
Yeah, I do have a question because you mentioned that. Did you guys F6 that game 1 just because you were getting frustrated and you recognized that you need to go into game 2 with, like you said, a clearer mind?
Yeah, we knew we messed up a little bit in drafting, and they had a lot of early game pressure which we couldn't handle. So we just thought before we get more frustrated, we might as well go into the second game and play our best and focus 100% on that one.
That's the funny thing. Second game, it kind of started off similar. I mean, you went down 2 early deaths, and they got first blood. But what was the morale and the comms to work out and actually come back in that game as strong as you guys did?
Well, the second game, I noticed that they had a lot more early pressure again. So I didn't want to contest the mid camps at the start until we got few more items online and could do the aggression itself.
I know you weren't in that dual lane, but did Dardez and Jermain recognize that double power pot start early on? And did you guys develop a strategy, on the fly to really deal with it? Or was it just be passive, let it fall off?
Yeah, we definitely went into that game because Dardez is used to playing aggressive supports. We put him on one which has high CC such as Geb because we know they tend to focus the support, and each time they threw so much on him without actually getting anything out of it.
Yeah, it worked out very well for you guys. Congratulations on that win. Any shout outs you've got to any fans or sponsors or the likes?
Shout out to the team just for stepping up in that second game and focusing, as well as Lunium, our manager, for setting up scrims and all the little things and details which don't get said. As well as Dardez for playing something other than Bacchus and Ares, and Tynz for his baby rage in the first game.
Awesome.
Shout out to Tynz and his baby rage. Thanks very much for joining us, Fails. Good luck in the rest of the season. And with that, Myrmidons, well, they find a split up against Titan. Let's have a look at those standings and see where that puts them.
They haven't moved places, but sitting at 5 and 13, just a little bit behind Dignitas. They're sitting at that 7th. They're trying to get into that 6th spot. They want to make super regionals. They want to come here to hi-rez Studios and compete for their shot at the World Championships.
They've played more games than Dignitas, though, is a big key there. They're going to have to keep climbing.
But I mean, also look at this. They're not too far off of really this middle of the pack. Fnatic, Titan, LC, all with 9 wins. Fnatic, however, are 4 games short. Like you said, we're not fully through this week yet, and some teams have double headers. But Myrmidons, realistically, there's still a lot of games to play in the second half of the split. They can make a run to be 6th, maybe even 5th or 4th.
Well, slowly, catchy monkey. Can Myrmidons make it up there? We'll find out in the rest of the season. That's the end of EU for today, however. But let's have a look at the schedule for what else we've got left. 2 games today. We've got 2 more North American ones coming up, followed by Super Sunday.
TSM versus Eager, though, coming up after we come back from break. This is the game I've been waiting for in North America. And then, like you said, Super Sunday coming up. First game tomorrow morning, Epsilon versus Fnatic. You can actually win some gems if you predict this correctly. Go on to esports.smikegame.com. I believe it's the first post there on the homepage.
Yep, have a little look. You can vote for Fnatic, you can vote for Epsilon or the split, and if you do vote correctly, you'll be entered into the raffle where you'll win some gems.
What was yours? What did you predict for your free FP week? Since you're always right.
Free FP week, Fnatic 2-0. Fnatic.
Epsilon 2-0. That's what it is. It's our match of the week, guys. So
Fnatic
that's going to be the one to look out for.
Definitely the one to watch out for. But that'll be tomorrow. Next up will be Eager versus TSM. We'll be back after the break.
Your past won't catch you now.